Here's the greatest essence of life, and that's living well. Weaving a tapestry of life experiences. What constitutes a good life? What is a good life? Because that's the highest essence of life, is to live a good life. Let me give you a pretty good list. Here's number one, productivity. You won't be happy if you don't produce. That's why the 6-1 was arranged, so that you spend the greater part of your life and your time producing. Producing a working day, produce an idea and make it fly, produce an enterprise and make it grow, produce a relationship and give it life, to create progress. You won't be happy if you don't produce. Work to do that. There's an ancient script that says, the sleep of a laboring man is sweet. Someone who labors to produce with their hands, who works hard, that sleep is sweet. Not the sleep of a goof-off man. Not the sleep of a drifting man. The sleep of a laboring man. Somebody who works, puts in the time and the effort and the work and the labor. Whether you labor with your hands or labor with your voice, or whatever you do, physical, spiritual, personal, that labor produces good sleep. So we must produce. But here's the rest of a good life. Next is friendship. The greatest support system in the world probably is. And you've got to nourish your friendships. Don't lose contact. Keep in touch. We all have to work on that. Letting too much time go by between visits, conversation, and telephone, and letters, personal contact, so that you keep alive this reservoir of goodwill in terms of friendship that can give you support when you really need it. Develop this support system. Good friends, those people who know all about you and still like you, right? Good friends. Next is your culture. The dynamics of culture, especially the dynamics of multiculture. A single culture is dynamic, but when you put together multicultures, it can produce the most stunning results. It can produce the most incredible wealth, such as never been known to the world in 6,000 years. The wealth that has been created by multicultures working together, contributing to each other. What one lacks, the other one's got. What one got's, the other one shares. What one doesn't have, the other one re-puts it in. What one doesn't know, the other one does know. And you put that all together and it becomes a tapestry of investment second to none that produces a country that's unlike any in 6,000 years. So culture. Now here's what's next. Don't miss anything in lifestyle. Just don't neglect the experiences you can have. Some people watch too much television and they neglect all of the experiences they can have. You've got to get up what? About 4:30 in the morning. And that's what I'm asking you to do more often. Get up at 4:30 in the morning and go create for yourself more experiences. So jot this down. Life is not just the passing of time. Life is a collection of experiences. Their frequency and their intensity. The frequency and the intensity of experiences. That's what life is all about. That collection. So don't get trapped into wasting time. Not that watching a television show isn't a waste of time. You know, there's plenty of good stuff. But don't use it as your only source of life experience. Don't miss the game. Don't miss the show. Don't miss the performance. Before my father died at age 93, if you would have called him at 10:30, 11 o'clock, he wouldn't be home. He's at the ball game. He's at the rodeo. He's at church. He's somewhere. Watching the kids play softball. He's somewhere. Every night. My parents taught that. Don't miss anything. Another experience, another rich experience, another time, another time. Don't miss whatever comes to town. Don't miss. Don't miss the movie. A movie's probably the greatest value in the world. Costs $60 million to make it, $6 to see. Now, jot this down. If you live well, you will earn well. If you live well, it'll show in your face. If you live well, it'll show in the texture of your voice and your language. If you live well, you'll be attractive. And success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person. Work hard. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Work hard, play hard. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. One thing you don't want to be is dull. So, in the time away from your labor, in the time away from your commercial obligations, your commercial work, engage in all of this stuff. Don't miss. Collecting every day, every week that's possible. Collect. so that your experiences now infuse your commercial time, your working time, your selling time, your recruiting time, building an organization time, constructing an enterprise time. If you will do that, not postpone all of this till some later time, as soon as, but weave it in. That's what we call a good life. Next is spirituality. Whatever you believe, study, practice, teach. It doesn't matter what the religion is. It doesn't matter what the spiritual persuasion is. Be a student of it. Don't neglect its research. Don't neglect its study. Don't neglect its origins. Don't neglect the contribution it could make currently to your life, and give your spirituality a chance now to infuse. You don't have to talk about it all the time, just so that it affects. It has an unseen magical effect in your performance, in how you treat people, in everyday life. If you'll use all of that, and don't neglect it, but study it and practice it and teach it, I'm telling you, it will serve you well. Next, do all the things that make you unique, so that you can enjoy your own uniqueness, not to make it a display, but so that you can enjoy yourself. The great philosophy says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, here's one of the ways to create unique self-love, and that's to make yourself unique to yourself. This doesn't have to be publicized. It doesn't have to go on television. It doesn't have to be displayed in a seminar. Just so you consciously know that you are doing the things that makes you unique. And it makes you unique because of what you do and the way you live and the way you speak. The uniqueness is primarily appreciated by yourself. You can't believe what that does for your self-esteem. It's off the scale, and anybody can practice it. Tips means to ensure prompt service. So when should you give it? Up front. Now see, I didn't know that. I said, no, good service, good tip, lousy service, lousy tip. No, to ensure good service, if the occasion calls for it, up front. I learned how to do that. You're taking a special friend out to lunch. This is a special occasion now. Special friend out to lunch. You call Mary over, the waitress. Mary, arm around the shoulder. Mary, here's $10. Would you take special care of me and my friend? You won't believe what happens. He said, Mary will hover around your table. They know how to hover. But it takes $10 to get them to hover. Without that, in the middle of the meal, you're just saying, where's my waitress? She must be gone on a break. Say, no. And Shof taught me, when the occasion is special, up front, up front. I took a beautiful lady once to Trader Vic's in Beverly Hills. She was so surprised. When we got there, these two attendants come walking out. Hello, Mr. Rohn. She says, wow. Opened up both doors, let us out. We went in, had this fabulous meal. And I said, okay, we're ready to go. We walk by, pay the bill, walk out. As soon as we walk through the door, my car is right there with the doors open and the motors running. My lady friend said, I can't believe this. I said, hey, this is someplace. So we get in the car and we drive away. And we haven't gone but a couple of blocks. She says, Jim, hold it. You got to go back. I said, why? She said, with all of that service when we got there, and then the car, and then the doors, she said, you didn't tip anybody. We got to go back. I said, no, it'll be okay. She said, no, we got to go back. Then I had to tell her that I made a trip to Trader Vic's long before we went there. And I made sure that it all happened right. If the occasion is special, right, learn to do the deals. Shof taught me the smallest things. Said you get a shoe shine, and the shoe shine boy's done a great job. Now you got some change. Should I give him 1 quarter or 2? Shof said always go for the higher amount. 2 quarters instead of 1. Most people 1, you 2. Not to display to the world, but to yourself. Shof said, this is a good note to make, become a 2-quarter person. Now the amount has gone up since he taught me that. So. He said, if you just give 1 quarter, that'll affect you the rest of the day. 1 lousy quarter. And you look at your shine, if you go for the 2 quarters, he said, that'll affect you the rest of the day. Become a 2-quarter person. I learned those simple, little, easy things.